Beware of the leeches. The leeches, y'all, they have the ability to attach themselves to your body, right? And when they attach to you, they not only do they harvest your energy and they deplete your energy, they chew away at your core, they devour your spirit, because as they're constantly energy harvesting you and they're draining your energy and they're attaching their demons, because remember, we all have the ability to connect to these soul ties. And these soul ties, they not only are birthed in us from our parents, they're also picked up along our journey. So as these leeches attach to your vessel, what they do is they attach their demonic entities onto you. And you have to be careful of that, because these leeches, they can appear to be support. They can portray themselves as help, right? But in all actuality, they're not help at all. They're really there on assignment. And where the assignment came from, it typically is birthed from greed. It's birthed from jealousy. It's the thing that they want. You always want what you can't have. And the things that you can have, once you obtain them, you don't really want them. You realize that you don't really want them, right? But you have to be careful of those leeches, because they'll keep sucking and sucking and sucking. And they'll suck at your blood and they'll suck at your blood until there's nothing left. And even when they realize that you are damn near on empty, right? They'll portray to give you energy. Oh, I'm feeding you. I'm giving you life. I'm giving you love. I'm your air. I'm your oxygen. But really, in actuality, you're really feeding them. They don't know how to exist without feasting on someone else's blood, on someone else's energy. Because remember, our energy is a direct correlation to our blood. And the stronger our blood is, which is the iron that's in our blood, it's in alignment with our DNA makeup. It makes up the soul. It makes up your soul group. Now, this whole soul tribe thing now, I don't really want to get into that, because what it does is it places us in labels. It falls underneath that empath thing or light worker. And we're far too complex than that. I truly believe that the human race is way too complex to be placed into a category of light worker or empath or 144,000. And does that mean that out of all of the billions of people that's on the earth, there's only 144,000 chosen? That there, I'm going to need a little bit more further research on. But it's back to those leeches. I was just laying here and I said, you know what, let me do a quick blackout reading and touch on those leeches and, to remind you to be wary of the energy that's around you, of the people that's in your circle. And that can range from anywhere from your parents to your siblings to your spouses to your friends, even your children, and it becomes a pretty difficult topic when you start touching on situations and say that, the children and the spouses and the parents, how can they suck at your energy and how can they latch onto your vessel to the point of depletion? But it's absolutely possible, because if you think about it, you'll continue to give and give and give to the point where there's nothing left. And these same individuals that you're giving to, they don't have any empathy, not even sympathy for you. And you wasn't giving them. For many people, y'all don't even be given with the expectation of receiving. Most times you give just because that's what's in the nature of your soul, right? To feed those that you genuinely care about. It's in alignment with the universe. The universe feeds us. It feeds us that positive energy. It feeds the plants. They feed the animals, and the animals, they feed each other. Many of the animals feast on each other. And I wonder, do humanity also apply that same principle? And it says, okay, well, fish eat fish. So does that mean that humans are supposed to eat humans? It's just a horrible dynamic, because when you really look at the parable of it, you'll realize that for centuries that humans have been stepping on the backs of each other and feasting off of each other since the beginning of mankind. And the majority of these feasts that they have, they typically conquer, and they reach these heights, and at the source of it, it's greed, it's jealousy, it's bias, it's coveting. You covet your brother. There's a scripture that say that we're not supposed to covet our brothers or our sisters, and we are our sisters and our brothers' keepers. But what does that mean when the gatekeeper is programming your mind to ultimately see the worst in your sisters and your brothers? Now I know that probably just went somewhere else, because it's like, who is the gatekeeper? The gatekeeper is whoever your master is. What master do you decide to serve? Okay, because whatever master that you decide to serve is going to be the one that's leading your spirit. Now, see, your spirit and your soul, once your spirit and your soul aligns, that means that you have met a level of mastery. Okay? But for many people, that soul and that spirit is completely detached. It's like a scale at the complete opposite. Like it's completely imbalanced, because your soul is your values, your principles, your morals. It's your beliefs. It's who you truly are. But your spirit is who you are created. Because many people are created, they're developed, they're programmed. And psychology teaches us that this programming, it starts in our earlier years. But in all actuality, the programming starts in our mother's womb. It starts before we are born, because we hear, if you really look at the human anatomy, you're able to hear your mother's voice and your father's voice, and you can hear music. And there's studies that say if you put music to your stomach, it helps develop the brain of the unborn fetus. So this programming, it begins before birth. Now, after birth, our programming, it starts to develop us, but it also starts to create that disconnect from your soul. And once you begin to disconnect from your soul and that developing takes place, okay, we start developing into the likeness of our master. Now, those masters, they vary, because many people, they have different masters. They have multiple. And that goes back to there's a scripture that say, that God, he's a jealous God, because people, he gets jealous when you worship multiple gods. Okay? Now, if you're worshiping multiple gods subconsciously, it's unintentionally. We don't quite realize that we're worshiping these gods, and we don't realize that, we don't quite realize, because again, these things are happening subconsciously, and we don't realize that they have become the master of our existence, because many of us are just existing. Now, how do you exist in a world without living? I'd say that that's the majority of it. Many people aren't living. Many are existing within the confines and within the area that's programmed into their mind. But anyway, I just wanted to stop by briefly with this quick blackout reading. And, the message of today and the word of today is to beware of the leeches. Because like I said, they have the ability to connect to you and drink your blood. And remember when I said the blood, it makes up your soul. And these leeches, they drain your energy. But you have to be careful of them because they come in all different shapes, sizes, and they wear the mask as friends, families. Masters. They're really the masters. But he or she who masters thyself cannot be mastered by anyone else. But that self-mastery, it's a lonely path. But it really is the path that leads to the purification of your soul. Now, y'all tune in with me and let me know y'all thoughts on this topic. Peace.